I am Ivan Michael Siachens of Batangas State University, Bachelor of Science Information Technology from Section IT 2102. And for this video, I'll be doing the CCNA 1 routing and switching practice questions, and I'll be showing you also the answer and explaining why is that the answer. So let's start. Let's start with chapter 1, explore the network. Question is, which two internet connection options do not require that physical cables be run on the building? So the choices are DSL, cellular, satellite, dial-up, and dedicated lease line. So the answer for this question is the cellular and satellite, because cellular and satellite requires signals and not the physical cables. So DSL stands for Digital Subscriber LAN. User get a high-speed bandwidth connection from a phone wall jack on the existing telephone network. So it uses a physical cables. Cellular network or mobile network is a communication network where the last link is wireless. So wireless doesn't use cables. Satellite internet access is internet access provided through communication satellites. Modern consumer-grade satellite internet service is provided individual users through geostationary satellites that can offer relatively high data speeds. So it still doesn't use cables. Dial-up internet access is a form of internet access that uses the facilities of public switch telephone network to establish a connection and the internet service provider by dialing a telephone number on a conventional telephone line. So telephone lines uses physical cables. A lease line is a private bi-directional or symmetric telecommunication circuits between two or more locations provided according to commercial contract. So it uses cables also. So the answer for that question is the cellular and the satellite. Which term describes a state of network when the demand of the network resource exceeds available capacity? So the choices are convergence, congestion, optimization, and synchronization. So the answer for this question is congestion. Because network convergence is the efficient coexistence of telephone, video, and data communication within a single network. Network congestion is a data network, and queuing theory is reduced quality of service that occurs when a network node or link is carrying more data than it can handle. So that is the answer, network congestion. So let us now see why network flow optimization is not the answer, because problems from the most special class of linear programming problems. Synchronization networks are also often known as networks of coupled dynamical systems. Both of these refer to the networks connecting oscillators, where oscillators are nodes of the emit signal with somewhat regular frequency. The answer is network congestion, because network congestion is when there is too much or overload of data and it can't handle it. So now in chapter 2, configure a network in the operating system. The question is, a network administrator needs to keep the user ID, password, and session contents private when establishing remote CLI connectivity with a single managed. Which access method should be chosen? The choices is Telnet, Console, AUX, and SSH. So the answer for this is SSH, because Telnet is an application protocol used on the internet or local area network to provide a bidirectional interactive text-oriented communication facility using a virtual terminal connection. So console port is used to connect a computer directly to a router or switch, manage a router or switch, since there is no display device on the router switch. The router's auxiliary port functions as a backup async port. It is most commonly used as a backup console port, but it can also be used as a dial-up port for remote router management and many other functions. So the answer is SSH, uses the client server model. A device to which you want to connect must run a server instance. The default port used by SSH is TCP22. Second question is, which command or key combination allows a user to return to the previous level of command hierarchy? So the choices is end, exit, Control-Z, and Control-C. So the answer is end. The answer is exit, because end and Control-Z return the user to the privileged exit mode. Control-C ends a command in a process, and the exit command returns the user to the previous level. So now in chapter 3, network protocols and communications. What type of communication will send a message to all devices on a local area network? So the choices are broadcast, multicast, unicast, and allcast. So broadcast is a one-to-all communication. A unicast is a one-to-one communication. Multicast is one-to-many communication where the message is delivered to a specific group of hosts. Allcast is not a standard term to describe a message delivery. So the answer for this is broadcast, because broadcast sends packets from one PC to all that is connected to the network. So what process is used to place one message inside another message for transfer from the source of destination? Choices are access control, decoding, encapsulation, and flow control. So access control is an approach to computer security that attempts to unify endpoint security technology, user or system authentication, and network security enforcement. Decoding is a capture and analysis of network traffic generated during a packet play. Encapsulation is a process of taking data from one protocol and translating it to another protocol so that the data can continue across a network. Flow control is a feature defined by IEEE 802.3x specification, enabling a receiving device to signal congestion to a sending device, which allows for sending device to temporarily halt transmission, alleviating congestion in receiving device. So based on the definitions, the answer to the question is encapsulation, because it is a process of taking data from one protocol and translating it to another protocol. So chapter 4, network access. First question, which type of connector does a network interface card use? So the choices are the DIN, PS2, RJ11, and RJ45. So the choices so DNI stands for a dedicated internet network. So the PS2 port is a 6-pin mini DIN connector used for connecting keyboards and mice to a PC-compatible computer system. RJ11 stands for registered jack 11, a telephone interface that uses a cable, twisted wire pairs, and modular jack with 2, 4, or 6 contacts. RJ11 is the common connector for plugging a telephone to the wall and handset into the telephone. So RJ45 refers to a cable termination. Specifications specifies physical male and female connectors and the pin assignment of wires in telephone cables and other networks that uses RJ45 connections. RJ45 connections, also known as data jacks. So the answer for this question is registered jack 45, or the RJ45. Which method of data transfer allows information to be sent and received at the same time? So the choices is full duplex, half duplex, multiplex, and simplex. So the answer for this question is full duplex, because full duplex data transmission means that the data can be transmitted in both directions on a signal carrier at the same time, while half duplex data transmission means that the data can be transmitted in both directions on a signal carrier but not at the same time. Multiplexing refers to the ability to transmit data coming from several pairs of equipment transmitters and receivers called low-speed channels on a single physical medium called the high-speed channel. While the simplex communication is a communication channel that sends information in one direction only. So the answer for this is a full duplex, because it can transmit data in both directions and at the same time. So chapter 5, the Ethernet. What are the two sizes, the minimum, the maximum of Ethernet frame? So the answer for this is the 64 bytes and 1580 bytes. Minimum Ethernet frame is 64 bytes and the maximum is 1580 bytes. So this is important because in order for us to recognize rump and jumbo frames. What are the two frame forwarding methods in Cisco switches? So the two forwarding methods is the cut through switching and the store forward switching. So cut through switching is the switch acts upon the data as soon as it is received, even the transmission is not complete. And while the store and forward switching, when the switch receives the frame, stores the data in buffers until the complete frame has been received. So chapter 6, network layer. What are the two types of router interfaces? So the two types of router interfaces is the LAN interface and the WAN interface. Or the LAN interface, the local area interface, used for connecting cables that terminate with LAN devices such as computers and switches. This interface can also be used to connect routers on each other. While the wide area network interface, used for connecting routers to external network, usually over a longer geographical distance. What are the types of infrastructure routers available? So the types of infrastructures available is the branch, the WAN, and the service provider. The branch, teleworkers, small business and medium-sized branch sites include Cisco Integrated Service Routers (ISR) and G2 the second generation. While the WAN is a large business organizations enterprises, includes the Cisco Catalyst series switches, the Cisco Aggregation Services Routers or the ASR. The service provider, large service providers include Cisco ASR, Cisco CSR3, Carrier Routing System, and the 7600 series routers. Chapter 7, IP addressing. So the first question, how many bits are in an IPv4 address? So in an IPv4 address, there are 32 bits in an IPv4 address. Because an IPv4 address is comprised of 4 octets of binary digits, each containing 8 bits, resulting in a 32-bit address. What are the types of IPv6 address? So the types of IPv6 address is the unicast, multicast, and the anycast. So the unicast, an IPv6 unicast address uniquely identifies an interface on an IPv6 enabled device. Multicast, an IPv6 multicast address, is used to send a single IPv6 packet to multiple destinations. Anycast, an IPv6 anycast address, is any IPv6 unicast address that can be assigned to multiple devices. So chapter 8, subnetting IP networks. Which subnet mask would be used if 5 host bits are available? So the choices is 255.255.255.0 and 255.255.255.128. Then 255.255.255.224. The last choice is 255.255.240. So the answer for this question is 255.255.254 because the subnet mask of 255.255.255.0 only has 8 host bits, and the mask of 255.255.255.128 results in 7 host bits. So our choice, the correct answer, 255.255.255.224 has 5 host bits. So that's the question. If 5 host bits, which subnet mask has 5 host bits? So 255.255.255.240 is not the answer because it only represents 4 host bits. How many bits must be borrowed from the host portion of an address to accommodate a router with 5 connected networks? The choices is 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the answer for this question, we need 3 bits for us. We need 3 bits to be borrowed from the last host portion of an address to accommodate a router with 5 connected networks. This is because each network is directly connected to an interface, so the router requires its own subnet. The formula 2n, where n is the number of bits borrowed, is used to calculate the available number of subnets when borrowing a specific number of bits. So chapter 9, transport layer. So the question is, what is a socket? So the first choice is combination of a source and destination IP address and source of destination Ethernet address. The combination of source IP address and port number of destination IP address and port number. The combination of source and destination sequence and acknowledgement numbers. The last one, the combination of source and destination sequence numbers and port numbers. So the answer for this question is the combination of source IP address and port number, or destination IP address and port number. It's because a socket is a combination of source IP address and a source port, or destination IP address and destination port number. What is the difference between TCP and UDP? So a TCP, or a Transmission Control Protocol, is a connection-oriented protocol that computers use to communicate over the internet. This is one of the main protocols of the TCP IP networks. TCP provides error checking and guarantees delivery of data, and that packets will be delivered in the order they were sent. User Datagram Protocol, of the UDP, is a connectionless protocol that works just like TCP, but assumes the error checking and the recovery services are not required. Instead, UDP continuously sends datagrams to the recipient whether they receive them or not. So chapter 10, which is the application layer. Which layer the TCP IP model is used for formatting, compressing, and encrypting data? So the choices is presentation, application, and network access. So the answer for this is the application, because the application layer of the TCP IP model performs the functions of 3 layers of the OSI model: application, presentation, and session. The application layer of the TCP IP model is the layer that provides the interface between the applications, is responsible for formatting, compressing, and encrypting data, and is used to maintain dialogues between source and the destination applications. The application layer TCP IP model performs the functions of the 3 layers of the OSI model. So the choices is the physical, session, network, presentation, data link, transport, and application. So the answer for this question is the session, presentation, and the application. The application layer of the TCP IP model represents the session, presentation, and the application layers of the OSI model. Chapter 11, build a small network. Which 2 traffic types require delay-sensitive delivery? FTP, voice, and video. So the answer for this is voice and video, because voice and video doesn't, because it requires a non-delay, because voice and video traffic have delay-sensitive characteristics and must be given priority over the traffic types such as the web email and the file transfer traffic. So what are the types of malware? So there are three types of malware: the virus, worms, and Trojan horse. So virus is the type of malware that propagates by inserting a copy of itself into and becoming part of another program. Worms are similar to viruses in that they replicate functional copies of themselves and can cause the same type of damage. But the Trojan horse is another type of malware named after the wooden horse the Greeks used to infiltrate Troy. So that's all for my review questions of CCNA, routing, and switching. Once again, I am Ivan Michael Siachans of Batangas State University from IT 2102, and I hope you learned something, and thanks for watching.